Sony goes completely mask off and announces that they're going to be censoring video games in real time going forward with their patent-pending AI system capable of real-time censorship of video game content. It will detect and modify mature or sensitive content. And this is just horrendous news to really close off 2025 with, but obviously this news gets a lot worse, and I'm going to be talking about it within this video because I know you saw the title and I also mentioned anime in it, and we will talk about that in just a moment. But first off, let's read this article that is discussing this situation and explaining what Sony is really trying to accomplish with this patent-pending AI system to censor video game content. Sony has patented an AI program that can censor games for content in real time, effectively making an adult-oriented game child-friendly, or at least child-friendlier. The idea behind this AI tech is to allow parents to control what is censored from a game their children are playing. They can choose the settings they wish, violence, cursing, sexual content, what have you, and the AI will take it from there, changing or blurring out the stuff parents don't want their kids exposed to. By virtue of the programming, it can also be tailored to each parent's rules for their kids, funneling out violence but not cursing, for example. I'm just gonna blow a hole in this entire thing that Sony is trying to accomplish with this technology. First off, if they're so worried about kids playing this type of content, why is a parent allowing them to get the game in the first place? Like, their entire objective here, okay, is to basically say, okay, the parents can set the controls for this game and censor whatever content they want, but it's like, okay, cool and all, but if they're that worried about their kids seeing this type of content, why did the parents get that game for their kid in the first place? That is the big red flag here that just does not make any sense. That makes this entire argument that Sony is trying to accomplish with this technology completely crumble apart. Because it's like, if the parents need to censor the content, don't let them play the game in the first place. Like, I want to give a good example to this, actually. When I was 11 or 12 and I went to GameStop to pick up a game like Record of Agrest War, I remember my dad had to be there to allow me to get the game. Like, he had to be there to say, yeah, my son can buy this game and all that, here you go, and I bought it. And they make it painfully aware that a kid normally shouldn't be able to play these games. But if your parent allows it, there's nothing that the game company can really do. There's also a reason why there's a rating system in place, like E for everyone, teen for teen, M for mature, you get the point. Which for some reason, game companies nowadays don't even like to use, and these different censorship programs and activist groups also don't realize that, but I'm getting on a tangent. The point of the matter is that if a parent has such an issue with a kid experiencing this type of content within a game, then don't buy them the game. It shouldn't be a company's job to do something like this that eventually will branch out and start affecting pretty much the entire industry. I think that this is legitimately just horrendous. Like, when did it become the responsibility of the companies or the government to parent children instead of the parents parenting their children? I don't understand this. Like, this is the big narrative that's been pushed a lot as of late, especially in 2025. Like, with all these, like, censorship programs, like with what the UK is doing, what, you know, the EU is doing, United States, all these different countries around the world, these governments, they're pushing this like, oh, protect the children, think of the children, we need to put these laws in place to protect the children. It's like, no, it should be the parents' job, not Big Daddy government to come in, or Big Daddy company to come in and censor everything to be the parent to the kid. This is not okay. I don't know when we had this cultural shift where it's no longer the parent's job to be a parent to keep their kids off the content. It doesn't make any sense to me, because this technology is 100% going to be abused. It's not going to be in a way that is going to be there just to protect kids. It's going to be abused to cause the entire situation with censorship just to get absolutely worse. And I'm going to dive into this, actually. Let's just get right into it. First off, Sony is very well known for censoring a lot of different content. We have seen it just with some of the stuff they've had with the games they own and all that they bring out that people see. There's a lot of content that gets censored that's under the Sony umbrella or PlayStation umbrella. But it's not just in the gaming space. We have seen Crunchyroll, which is owned by Sony, also experience censorship or agenda pushing or narratives being pushed, translations being messed up, or subtitles being messed up that mean something completely different from what the actual Japanese is saying. There is a lot of examples. That's not even getting into the mismanagement of Crunchyroll and the horrendous situation they've done with like many different people that's worked for their company or tried to work for their company, or how they handle things in the first place with the complete lack of transparency. The point is that this technology that Sony is trying to patent is not going to just stop at this. It's not going to just stop at video games. It's not going to just stop at what they're doing. It's going to branch out to all their content that they currently own under their umbrella, and eventually it is going to affect Crunchyroll. Mark my words. It might not happen next year, but in the next 10 to 15 years from now, if there is not a lot of pushback to this, and parents don't start parenting their kids, we're going to have this technology that's going to be forced on everyone, even adults, and you're not going to have a say in the matter. Because right now, it's starting off as something very simple, something very nice and all that, like, oh, you know, you can do this if you want to do it, you can use this AI patent program to censor this content for your kids, but what starts off as, you know, a pleasantry or trying to seem innocent is going to evolve into something very malicious and get a lot worse as time goes on, where it will be just very aggressive with its censorship, and Sony will hammer down and they will force it on everything instead of allowing you to opt out or opt in. It will be completely forced to actually use this said technology. I do not like this. I think that this is a very bad thing, and it is paving the way for just more censorship of all forms of entertainment. And once again, Sony's been very heavy on the censorship as of late, especially in this past year or two, and I feel like this is just bad news all around, and anyone that is fine with this really needs to look that this is the beginning of something that could get much worse if there is not a vocal outcry against this. I don't like this. I don't think this is okay, and I want to once again reinstate what I've already said in this video, that, you know, it's not the company's job to basically play parent. It's supposed to be the parents. Like, if the parents are having an issue with these games and this content within these games, don't let the kid play the game. It is that simple. Like, it's not. And if you're thinking like, oh, but it's digital, they have to buy it digital, okay, parent your child. You can still look at what they're looking at. You can see what they're doing. You know, there's so many other limitations, like screen time limitations. Hell, take their console away, ground them, whatever you want to do. The point is, it's the parents' job to parent their children, not these companies, not these governments. They should have no part to play. I think that it shows how society, for some reason, has made it to where parents shouldn't have to do their jobs anymore, and that they should just completely rely on technology to do the babysitting, do the watching over the kids and everything. I don't think this is a good thing that society has been doing, and I feel like this entire problem is just going to continuously escalate if something is not done, if there's not more outcry against this. I want to be honest with you, I don't really know what you can do to fix this situation, and I know that sucks for me to say. I don't like admitting something like that, but I don't really know the answer to this besides parents just being parents and actually having to parent their kids, because this is just crazy, man. It's just... Because you realize, I haven't even discussed, like, the issues that this is going to cause with people that make games. Like, for instance, let's say you make a mature game, okay? An example here. You make a mature game, and this patent is completely available, like it happens. This means that it's going to completely distort the original artwork of what an artist did or developers have done, distort it and make deep fakes or completely blur it and just completely tarnish what the original art was meant to convey. And once again, I don't think kids should be looking at this type of content or anything. I completely understand that statement, but the point is if it's an issue for these parents and this program needs to be initiated, parents just need to parent. It's that simple. Like, it's that simple. It really is. And I just don't know how we have fallen so low in a society to where you have to have stuff like this that's introduced just to do the parents' job. I know I'm saying the same thing, but just... It aggravates me, because, like, I remember having to go to GameStop and different game stores, and my dad would have to be there to approve and be an actual parent and say, yeah, he can get this game. And even if it's not a game I should be playing at the age, the point is he had to agree to it. And he never complained or was worried about this type of stuff. But the parents that get these games for their kids, they know what they're getting. And the fact that they are... Anyways, I don't want to go on a tangent. I've said my piece. I think everybody gets the point I'm trying to make. I'll leave it at that, though. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, leave a like. Helps me out a lot. Chibi out.